Hey, my name is the Gundam Boy, and today we're going to be taking a look at my favorite hyper-autistic fixation, Helldivers 2. Today we'll cover all the things you need to know about this game before you start, or if you're a struggling Helldiver already. This video will have quite a bit to cover, but we will look at your ship, important currency, how to progress in levels, basic covering of missions, and some advanced game knowledge that isn't clearly communicated. And oh boy, there's quite a bit. This video will have bookmarks, so you can always come back and take a look and review something that I said. Or if you have any questions, be sure to ask in the comments down below because we have a lot of supportive Helldivers. We also have an official server where you can join us and ask all your questions and play with some of the most genuinely cool people I've ever met. But that's enough yapping, so let's get straight into it. So, booting up the game, you will run through a tutorial, but I will skip this because this game does such a fun job at introducing the game to you that I think it's worth playing it yourself. Once you get on your ship, you'll be able to pick a name for yourself. Just not that one, please. This is going to be your home base. Here you'll have some important terminals that you're going to visit quite often, and this check is going to be the bane of your existence if you don't bring back some samples. Here is the ship management terminal. Here you can access a variety of tabs. The first page will let you rename your ship if that joke isn't funny anymore. The second tab is the stratagem tab, where you can unlock a wide array of weaponry. Stratagems here can range from airstrikes, orbitals, precision strikes, support weapons, vehicles, and sentries, but that is not all it's limited to. And to unlock these beauties, you'll need to reach a level requirement and have to pay rec slips. Fuck taxes! You will have a limited resource amount in the start, so you must choose your weapons wisely. Moving a tab over, you can see the ship module tab, where you can unlock permanent buffs to your ship. And there's about 6 ship modules with 5 unlocks for each of them. If you want to know how much it takes to get all of the upgrades, you'll need about 3,830 common samples, 2,920 rare samples, and 305 super samples. So this is going to be more of a jog than it will be a sprint, I'm going to be real. It's worth it in the long run since this will boost your ship's weapons, stratagems, and equipment. Another terminal that's very important is the Armory. This is where you can review your various types of equipment. You can look at your weapons and armor and the stats with them, letting you build a loadout before you dive into your next mission. You can also review boosters on this page, which are mission buffs with different effects. I think you'll want to work for health pod optimization so you can have more ammo and more stims when you start off. Later down the line, once you get to level 10, you'll be able to unlock weapon customization. And the most important terminal in the game, the one that lets you actually play it, the Galactic War Table. Here you can see the state of the war and all the news that goes on. From major orders, this is the objective that must be completed as a community, which has targeted planets. Follow the order, follow the planet, and you'll be doing just fine. Right, you'll be able to see personal orders, which are small challenges that rotate every 24 hours, that provide medals after each completion. You can also see other factions on the map. We have the Australians' backyard, the Terminids in yellow, we have the Ocean of Squids in the purple, and the knockoff Terminators off in the red sector. You can select a mission and change the difficulty here, though you must play each difficulty and win to unlock the higher tier. Planet modifiers are also something you need to look at to see specific environment conditions or enemy spawns. Sometimes there are unique enemy sub-factions that are marked with a little icon. These are alternate enemies, so keep those in mind before you drop in, as they may provide a different challenge to that of the base faction. Go ahead and fight the Predator strain, they're easy, I promise. Let's briefly talk about the in-game currency, as this is very important to upgrading your character and your ship. We have medals that let you actually buy the items in your war bond. These can be acquired in a few ways like completing missions, major orders, personal orders, and point of interest in-game. Common samples can be found on any difficulty, rare can be found on challenging and up, and super samples will only appear on extreme and higher levels. If you're in the wilderness, it should spawn at the giant cock rock, and if it's in the mega city, it should spawn specifically at this location. These are used to upgrade your ship for permanent buffs. Rec slips are acquired from completing missions and objectives, or they can be found at points of interest like containers, bunkers, and pods. Super credits are also found at points of interest like containers, bunkers, and pods. Again, there is a chance to get the 100 version of the super credits, but those are super rare. At most, you'll probably find like 10 bucks. If you have 1,000, you can use these to unlock a new premium war bond, or you can buy some of the superstore items. I personally wouldn't recommend buying the superstore armors for the armor passive, since there's, a whole war bond typically dedicated to where it came from that offers more weapons and items than just some drip, but I can't blame you if you want to buy it. You can also buy your super credits to unlock the new war bonds. I only do it personally to support the game I love, but you can totally find all these in-game. And just so that you're not surprised, when I say you can buy the war bond, I mean that you buy the access to purchase it with war bond medals. You don't just get it instantly. All of these resources are shared, so there is no need to kill your teammate unless you think it's funny. Keep these resources as they are going to be very important to progressing your ship upgrades and unlocking more weapons. Medals, rec slips, super credits, and samples can all be found throughout the mission's POIs, like bunkers, containers, pods, and either of them can have these resources. Another useful tool for seeing what's on the field is the LiDAR station. Setting it up should show resources across the map and where to loot them. A very important thing to note though is that there is a resource cap. You cannot carry more than what they have right here. So you'll have to start spending it. As you know what they say, nothing goes better than spending money. The only resource that's not affected by the cap limit in this is super credits. Mission objective can be seen on the map, and it will guide you on what you have to do on the top right. Here are a few things you can do when you're on a mission. You can do the main objective, which is required to complete the mission, allowing you to extract, but you can also do side objectives, which may provide more tactical advantages or provide information about certain POIs. Take down enemy bases, gather resources. It's really up to your team to decide on what you want to do. You can split the work, or you can work together. Or you can play alone like a loser. Enemy patrols often swarm the map and attack the player once they can confirm your presence. But if you're too slow and you don't kill them in time, oops, well, it's all reinforcements, which can lead to a few options. Running away like a coward, or annihilating them all. If you're too slow to kill them, however, it can lead to an infinite loop of enemies spawning, and you'll run down your time. Once you finish the objective, resource gathering, and base annihilating, you can go for an extract. Completing the main objective will give you a certain amount of XP, and if you leave, you'll be leaving with a very poor score. If you're looking to get as many levels as possible, it's very important that you complete as many side objectives and destroy all the enemy bases for the max XP reward. Overall, progression in this game is pretty straightforward and non-linear at the same time. You have several things that you can consider for progression in this game. Is unlocking all the weapons count for you as progression, or does leveling up your ship the max count as progression? Or if you're like a real crackhead, like one of my Discord members, do you count the progression of maxing out all your guns? So let's get into some advanced tips for Helldivers. If you cook the grenade in your hand before you throw it, it blows. Okay, I'm sorry, that's an obvious one. Taurus, I think most people know how to cook a grenade if they're gonna play something like Helldivers. So this game's a horde shooter, so you'd be surprised if you would be shooting a lot. If you want to get better accuracy, I would recommend crouching. Crouching can reduce that shake of the gun when you're firing it, and for the most accuracy, going prone can make the gun shake, you know, not at all. It's a good habit to get in the crouching and shooting, especially when you start using later guns down the line that have a bit more recoil than the Liberator. If you're using light pen weapons specifically, this would be great to get a good habit into because you're going to want to save as much as your ammo as you can. Sometimes you'll be in a situation where you can't use your gun, and if they're coming over to hit you, use your melee button to push them off of you for a little bit. Keep in mind, if the enemy is bigger than you think you could punch, he probably is and will run your ship. There is sort of a stealth mechanic in Helldivers. It's a little weird and might take too long to explain here, but I do have an extra video right here if you want to take a look at it to learn a bit how to sneak around. Helldivers does have some environmental hazards, like running through water may make you run a bit slower, and bushes will also affect you with slowing down as well. These are also environmental hazards, so if you see any of these, I would avoid stepping on them because they'll all kill you in their own way. Stims are pretty good for fixing up your limbs and regaining any health, but if you're running low on some stamina, take a hit and it'll regen it immediately. You'll know when he needs a stim because it'll look like it's his first time running. Diving can be good for getting in the cover, but did you know you can use it to jump into weird positions? Changing gears, let's quickly talk about penetration in this game. And no, not that kind, you sicko! You're gonna see a variety of crosshairs. Red means you're doing full damage. If you see a white crosshair, that means you're doing half damage or 65%. And if you see a shield, then you're doing jack shit. Enemies all have different armor ratings across their bodies, so if you want to look that up, I would go to the wiki. Yeah, oh fuck. You would get familiar with light pen, medium pen, heavy pen, and anti-tank, but this is just a blanket term. There's actually a whole spectrum of damage numbers. Let's get into an example. This is a Hulk. His armor is at 4, which means you need weapons that are either at 4 or higher to do damage to him. But that is the end of my video. I don't know how much this will actually help you. This is my first time doing a guide this big, but I hope I was able to educate you in some way. Otherwise, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.